Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and I'm once again joined by Demosthenes
Hey, folks.
and Darkside Cookies.
Hello, hello.
And we got a spicy turn for you here. Last episode, if you guys missed it, pretty amazing. I thought you guys were just totally set up to win, had a great start, easy first wars, were able to focus infrastructure. You're playing a pretty strong nation with good timings, like the goblins. You know, the goblins of Shinuyama are pretty good. But then we got to see Asphodel, and holy shit, they were scary. So, yeah, they really are like the green tide, is what it looks like. So the question is, who is the green tide going to roll over next? And I suppose we're going to find out. But you guys did warn me before we pulled this turn up that this was going to be a turn of some big battles. So I think we'll watch them here from this map. Any of these you think we should start with?
Let's check out the dire portent first, and then
So this is...
The classic
Asphodel,
Mother
Mother
Oak.
Oak.
Is this Asphodel?
Yeah.
Oh god, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, and one thing, like you can count how many forest temples they have, or how many temples. It's something like 8 or something like that. So they're very possibly, just calculate the nature income from the man capital, the Asphodel capital, Mother Oak, and their temples, and it's probably at least 30. So yeah, we're going to be in for some interesting use of those gems.
Yeah.
You want the man fort arming first if you want, but the Nabah Marignon stuff I think is the coolest piece this turn.
Okay, we'll do the Asphodel man battle. Now, there's no knights here. Knights would do a lot better to hold the gate. They're casting Blur. That would have been really nice to have on the Knights of Avalon.
Yeah, I think they did it last turn. They didn't have enough coverage. They got it on 10 guys.
Yeah, okay. No surprise there. Having Knights to fog the gate might have changed that. Banish some stuff, but yeah.
And they got 4 Black Centaurs, so, significant given that they only got 20 with their 80 Knights last turn.
Fair. Okay, let's do... Well, they take some Cave Ment out. There's a bump here with Nabah.
Yeah.
Now, this is mostly garbage.
Yeah, I quite kind of like this approach for Asphodel if they have like a half dozen sacreds to be the killing power of the army, and then a bunch of garbage to be sort of attraction.
Right.
I'll see how this does in this replay, because I remember being a close fight.
Okay. Now, are these sacreds getting fatigued out? Well, not really, but the sacreds aren't. Because they're dodging, you have to be hit by it.
Yeah, the sacreds are doing a lot better than the rest of that.
And yeah, the chaff is keeping this, because these centaur would get ruined if they were alone. But
yeah.
The black centaurs are working their way down this flank. And most of the archers here have died. Nabah's going to be very close to HP routing.
Yeah, but so is Asphodel. They've also lost a lot.
Yeah. Is that what happened in the original battle?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
Another 20, 20 Yan guards and a bunch of scales troops for Nabah. It's a pretty significant loss there. Asphodel, I'm sure, is not happy about losing 5 out of the 6 Black Centaurs. So I guess
right, these are not a renewable resource for them, right?
Yeah, they're getting like probably 4 a turn by now, maybe 3.
Yeah.
I think when the cap, it goes down to 1k pop, and so I think they can get 1 per turn at that point.
Yeah, they're probably not far off from that. Okay, here we go. Pythium riding out in full force after the Hydra maneuver failed. With a bunch of gladiators. Okay, I'm guessing they kill...
It looks like they got the hold and
35 Olmish.
35. Okay.
That's my guess.
Like they did the hold and attack with the Hydras to point buff them.
Ooh, the nets are working though.
Yeah, a lot of the Northern Star going up. Which I think is what they've been waiting for. I chatted with the player right out and waiting for.
They're getting a lot of mind burns. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Ulm. It looks like It looks like there's more that died though. Looks like more like 60.
Yeah. But unfortunately for Pythium, all those communicants are not getting away.
Yeah. 90. Okay. Yeah, that is a significant loss. Okay, I'll say I called that wrong. I might not have appreciated the mind burns. How many did they kill? 23? How did these guys die?
Yeah.
These guys hardly killed anything.
I think they didn't. It's a hot province, and I think Ulm did not buff fire resistance on their troops, which maybe they didn't have the research to do that. Just all the magma bolts, friendly fire, burning their own guys.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that was interesting. So the net effect of that now is that this army is significantly smaller on top of Pythium, but also Pythium's Mage Corps, which would have made storming the fort nigh impossible, is mostly gone. So
most of the mages got away, but not the communicants. So their sort of ability to commune. I guess maybe it's not much.
There's not much that got away.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
They're pretty boned.
Yeah, my guess is they had to sally because they were running out of money. Unless somebody was willing to sell them some cash.
Yeah.
And then we have a battle here with Machaka and Tianchi. Oh, this is a small fort.
Yeah, and then you should watch the Marignon stuff from the messages, I think.
Okay.
I think that's a big battle.
So Nabal and Marignon are fighting. This is that weird diagonal war. Okay, that one's nothing happened. This one... Yeah, this is the province that Marignon was going to send the main army to so they could stop the fort storming.
But they seem to have sent it a turn too late.
Unaging, Blood Surge, Enchanted Blood, Undying. Okay. Pretty light bless.
Light bless. Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the battle.
Okay.
So one thing to note is that Marignon had 2 armies like this. So many sacreds.
Yeah, they've got a lot of sacreds. The positioning is a little strange with the archers in front and the...
I didn't catch the...
Yeah, I don't really know what the strategy for that position was. I know that one of the things you have to worry about fighting the bot is the hawks killing your mages, but I'm, messing up her formation, but I'm not sure what's happening. Why did they just run backwards there? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe one of the air mages cast on hawks and that turned them around or something. I don't know.
Who's casting Sulfur Haze?
I think
this guy.
I think they have a Grand Master who's got them.
Yeah.
A little bit weird against Naba because a lot of their stuff on fire, but I guess.
Right. I guess Marignon has some regeneration, which is going to help a bit if they get it. But yeah, these guys have fire and poison resistance. It's kind of a weird choice. And it looks like there's friendly fire, unless this is that Sulfur Haze? Unless that's Naba casting it as well. Yeah, here it is, Sulfur Haze. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The other detail you might be able to see, I think that they made a bunch of the little snakes. Yeah, the fire salamander ass. Those are an interesting choice.
Yeah, they've got this little flame poison bite, which does a bunch of poison damage.
Yeah.
So
those bites have resistance to both of those, so it's only 15, but 15 poison damage is still a lot.
Yeah, but you do have to get through the This is not armor negating, so you have to get through the armor, which is not trivial. But it's a way to turn what might be a 1 damage RNG roll into 25 damage.
Exactly. Exactly. And it also they help a lot with. Maybe this isn't the best matchup for them, but like if you're fighting giants, having a one, a 6 per square sort of little attacking thing like that can be pretty efficient for wasting attacks, but otherwise you're hitting your elite stuff.
It looks like Marignon wins this.
Yep.
I mean, I love Kirby, but in my opinion, this serves him fucking right for doing a diagonal war.
Those Jarlets.
I'm rooting for Marignon here, full out. Even though Kirby's my boy.
I'll root for Kirby.
Oh wait, did he lose this already?
Yeah, I think we missed it last turn. It was an empty
Okay.
storm, so not much to see.
And so presumably he's going to come take this back and then get this throne. But Nabal has stuff over here he can reinforce. I think you still take this fight. This is a lot. You still have a lot of sacreds left.
Yeah,
they
Kirby's
lost 30.
deep raiding in the back corner in the swamp.
Yeah, and then these guys are raiding back here. I mean, you can maybe kill these guys with just a few air elementals or something. What would you do as Marignon? Fire elementals? Fire elementals don't work as well because they get shot by arrows.
Because they're stealthy, it's just going to be hard to trap them. Because
yeah, you have to move your mages out and put them in a lot of different places. I mean, it's unlikely. Well, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's unlikely these guys are going to stealth move, right? Like they're going to attack somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I would try to split them
No,
up.
they're going to attack, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's one commander. Yeah, I mean, it's possible this stack of like 6 Knights of the Chalice could kill this whole squad.
6 is probably not enough because they do have a high damage scimitar. So
yeah,
when they get into melee, they can be decently effective. But it probably 10 would be totally sufficient.
Yeah.
And
a bit of PD.
6 plus some PD or something. Yeah, and I think it's I don't know.
I think this is a salvageable Marignon position. I mean, yeah, they should be having a few more provinces from you guys, but yeah, But Nabal is also a nation with a lot of tricks. So they've seen this is the risk of this, I think, is that Nabal knows exactly what Marignon's going to do. They know exactly the forces arrayed against them. They have a good idea of the research and the number of mages, and they know where they're going. Like they're going here. Yeah. So on one hand, I think this is kind of a move. I don't think it. I think you can say, hey, look, I killed a bunch of your stuff. You get this fort. Let's sign peace. Let's do peace, which is a very generous offer to a dirty diagonal war maker. I think you could do that and go do something more productive, because realistically, this is still a stupid, spiteful war because it's a diagonal war.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's sort of interesting about this diagonal war is that it's not that logistically bad for Marignon, or sorry, for Nabal to prosecute it. But like for Marignon, imagine trying to march an army all the way to the Nabal capital, right? Like it really would be quite painful for them. So in some ways, this is a fairly safe war for Nabal, and that it's very possible that...
I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. How is it safe for them?
I don't know. If, it might be that Marignon, is happy to, take just the throw of fire from them, which I'm sure they'd be excited about, and call it a day.
Yeah.
And go do something else afterwards, right? Like if they lose. That's the, if you're fighting Ulm, probably they're going to try and eat you, if they're winning.
I think this, I mean, look, if you're if it's Kalem or Zabalba or one of the flyers, I've got my diagonal war pass I'm ready to hand out, right? Where you get to be a little POS and do diagonal wars, and people can't be that mad because it kind of makes sense for you. Nabal's mobile, but they're not that mobile, especially this phase in the game. Well, I don't think. I'm not going to give them. They're not getting one of my passes. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you do have the fire mage summons. You can. He's probably filtering some troops through that Ulm border, just underneath the PD, because they're reasonably stealthy.
Yeah.
You do have the raid mechanic, so you can raid around and cause a lot of unrest to Marignon, try to shut down forts.
But, so that it's the end result, if you win, you get this weird, janky-looking thing that any serious player could take from you whenever they wanted to? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seems super sketch. But I think if I were Marignon, I think the logical best move is say, hey, you've gotten this from me. You can keep it. Let's just go do our own separate ways and sign a long nap.
I think if you're Marignon, you got to go retake that fort, right? You just won the field battle.
No, I think they will, but I think the problem is it's a stupid war, right? Like you could retake it and then do it, but the problem is that it's not low risk taking it. Retaking is actually super high risk.
Yeah.
Because...
It could be.
Huh?
It could be, but the thing is that in a fort storming situation, he just killed most of Nabah's archers. And he's got like 100-something crossbows between these two armies, 150 there, another 30 there. Like the fort wall benefits whichever side has more archery power, and right now that's probably Marignon. I guess mage power too, so there's that.
I'm thinking mage power, yeah. And I'm not thinking about storming. I'm thinking the risk to me, and I could be wrong because I don't know all the stuff here, but the risk to me is a huge PD dump. All the mages move here. Malika are flying over here. They're loaded up with gems for air elementals. The army moves and patrols. And you have to fight all of that. Now, is having the fort worth it to have to fight all that even if you win? Probably not. You're probably going to lose too much. That's why I would be willing to make a peace, even though the spiteful, hateful part of me would want to take this fight. But yeah. I mean, I think they have a good chance at winning, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we can go to the next turn. There's I believe they do in fact move on to that fort, and we get a cool fight. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Also, not a great turn for Nabah because they had that fateful bump with Asphodel, so maybe they would be more inclined to talk peace too. It's probably not something Marignon knows, though.
Yeah, I think the last thing for this was we did get a lot of gold events this turn. So
oh, nice.
maybe you can talk about how you spent some of that.
I mean, in general, we've been spending about 1,000 gold a turn on infrastructure, plus however much we get from luck events. So
yeah,
we're very slowly having all of these things be fortresses and temples. I think we also got a free fort this turn. That one between Nazca and the one we took from Pythium in the north, I think, is a free fort. Maybe
this
it was
one?
last turn, but that was a free event fort. So we're feeling very excited about our luck 2 skills.
Dude, Misfortune. I feel like Misfortune's worse in Dominion 6. Like Misfortune 2 hurts so bad. Anyway.
Luck 3 feels amazing in Dominion 6. I got a little bit addicted playing just that one Disciples game.
Okay, let's go look at the next turn. All right, 29, here we go. Arcane Probing. Don't find anything, but you can find Black Sands. This gives you the... Oh, no. That was a different one.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it, too. There's
Witch's Bog.
A Sand Sorcerer site.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Okay, so that's 2 gems. Okay. And we're going to see some pretty cool battles. We want to see this one probably.
Yeah, Norse exactly, that's the one.
Yeah, this is why I would have tried to make peace. Fuck this. I don't want to fight this.
Yeah.
I would have sent him a message. I'd be like, I hate you. I hate your kind. I hope you never play Dominions again, but would you like to sign a long non-aggression pact?
Full foreign recruit elves. Gosh, so much fun.
Yeah, so it looks like he didn't have very much in there. I think it's because there were 5 Malika in there doing their opposite thing. Like that 100 mercenaries was not on the map. Like,
I think Vale already blocked
I think
spies. So even if you have a spy there, you have to look in.
Here, wait. Yeah, people will complain. They can't hear you when I have to pause.
Yeah, so Vale Army, I believe, even blocks spies now.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it did when Dominion 6 first came out, but I think it does now.
Anything that obfuscate blocks everything. There's no way to see through it, I don't think. Spirit Sight doesn't see through it. Maybe Scry does, but...
So in some ways, Malika are the worst kind of elves. But truly invisible.
I don't know. That's a title with a lot of strong competition.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, the Zots are in the back killing some of the mages. The birds.
Yeah, I thought the
The
Zots
crossbows are coming up.
Clever touch.
I think okay, you guys know who wins the actual battle, but you don't know who wins this version of the replay. Where do y'all think? Who do y'all think is going to win, and how close do you think it's going to be in this battle so far?
I think Marignon's going to win, and partially because of the crossbows. And
yeah,
I'm a big fan of using the falcons to distract and having the camels on attack, especially on the flanks. And I kind of wonder if they would have done a lot of damage because they'll shoot while moving too. So you still get the archery just with better precision, and you get their scimitar in the action.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a very pure victory for Marignon as I'm looking at it. The problem is there's not really a lot to damage the Marinese stuff. Like the short bows from these guys don't do anything, or composite bows, or they don't do much. Yeah. And this chaff is going to die and rout the army.
Doing a bunch of evocations. I think they've got fire resistance on their bliss, but that's not enough for a bunch of fire form mages to shoot fireballs at you. Yeah. And then the other thing that you can see is that they've made a ridiculous number of those little salamander asps. I assume that they don't have construction 5, and that's not why we're not seeing elementals for this turn.
Yeah. Man, I would
also doing a bunch of sleep magic with their glamour mages.
Right. So yeah, we can see a lot of these guys asleep. Yeah, that's the X factor in this is the mages. And I do think the mages are going to cause a lot of the damage here.
I'm worried
what do you think is going to happen in this replay, Demosthenes?
I think that the winner of the battle will be Ulm and Shinuyama, the neighbors of these two attack nations that are destroying each other's armies.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, then you needed to have agreed with me the previous turn when I was like, I think the correct call is to make peace, because I predicted this shit without knowing anything about it.
From a Shinuyama perspective, this war is great.
No, well, maybe. Right, because you might need them for Asphodel, and if they get their stuff pushed in, they're not going to be able to help you. But if Naba loses this whole army, they're going to be rough because they lost that big bump with Asphodel, and then they lost this. Yeah. They're going to be.
I'm worried these little chakram throwers are going to help HP route the army.
Yeah, I think the thing that I had been thinking the previous turn is if I were in that Marignon position, like. We know as the casters that Naba has like a 10 province cave and thus is super rich, but like on the surface map, they're about the same size as Marignon. You might not expect that after you wiped their army and what looked like probably all of their sacreds, with that Yenguard stack that were in the theater, that there would be another huge army like this. Because it was, if you had scouts there, they weren't visible. I think that's sort of where, like, if I were playing Marignon, I'd probably be like, I just with half of my stack wiped them, losing not that much stuff, like. No, I got this.
I would have given Naba a long fucking nap and been like, I hate you, but I'm giving you a long nap and you get this fort from me, you fucking bastards. And that would have been the right call. I think Naba would have been smart to take me on it too. Because there's no way, if they said no, then that means they want more than the fort, and that means I have to kill their armies if I'm playing Marignon. And then they know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm definitely going to attack and have to take this from them. And there's just not an efficient way that I don't think Naba has at this time to kill 180 of the Knights of the Chalice. So.
How they do.
Got some forces rising. They're doing... What is this? Fire Blast. Okay. That's pretty effective.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait, there's more horses. Where the fuck have these guys been though?
Yeah, they were stuck fighting the Zots in the back, and otherwise.
Oh my god, what a fucking bloodbath. The crossbows carry it. Kirby, this serves you right, dude. This is what you get for a diagonal war. Fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
So is Dar still home?
Oh god. You've just successfully ruined both of y'all's games. Oh, man. I don't think Marignon can take this fort, though. I think by the time they get ready to storm it, there's going to be more Nabaa reinforcements. And they didn't kill all that much. The mages are all still here.
As long as you have the gold, the camel riders come back real quick, too.
Yeah. I think this was a total Pyrrhic victory. And like in the full sense of the word for Marignon. Like, not only did they just take a ton of attrition, but I think they're not able to win any strategic objectives off this either.
Yeah, and I think actually a big part of why it happened this way, if you look at how many mages Marignon lost, and I think that they lost most of those at the start of the battle.
Yeah, let's take a look.
The surprise along with the birds really messed them up.
Marignon's had weird commander placement.
Yeah, I think I sent him a message being like, you might want to put your mages hiding in the middle of the crossbows or something like that. It's sort of the second time in a row.
I like the idea of not having all the crossbows in a big box, because then they could get really lit up by evocations, but I think you want some of them in a box just to protect the mages. And I also sort of think, too, you probably want to do hold an attack on these guys and get buffs on them. The idea of running in makes sense against archers, but the archers aren't really doing shit. Like, you've got shields.
And the body ethereal would be really nice on them, too.
Yeah.
I think that the body ethereal matters, though. Like, the way that those knights died is all to magic damage. I mean, maybe it would have blocked the serpents, but I think they might have wanted to buff fire resistance on them, and that might have been...
Yeah, they could have done that, too.
The Jan guard on the flanks, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think body ethereal would have been fine. I mean, we can look at the kills. Yeah, 35, 30. Yeah, body ethereal probably would have blocked
physical damage.
Two-thirds of the kills. So, but I mean, you wouldn't have had body ethereal on all of them.
No, but you could have tried to do a specific squad on a particular part of the map to get a strong flank.
I don't want to miss the opportunity to pat myself on the back one more time. Just this is a good argument for giving diplomacy a chance. Like, this was clearly going to be a Pyrrhic victory for whoever won, and they it just is so bad. I think Nabaa. It would have been presumptuous of Nabaa to ask for a truce, but I think it would have been appropriate. Like, hey, you killed this. Are you cool giving it up? And then the player would be like, no, fuck you. You're going to give me my fort back. And be like, okay, would you be willing to pay me for it? Or something. You could maybe glean something out of it. If they really want to fight, be like, okay, I'll fight. But honestly, I think it's Nabaa too. I think I would just, if they were really pushing it, I would just let them have it. Okay, you can have your fort back if we can go back to peace. I think that fort, the value of this fort is so much less than what was... Think how long this one fort is going to take to pay for all the losses here. It's going to be many, many, many turns.
I mean, I think this war only makes sense if Nabaa is going for the Marignon capital and the rest of their lands, right? Like, this is a war that is...
Yeah, you gotta get that.
I don't know. In general, I think wars only make sense if you're, like, if you just take one fort and fight big battles over it, like, it's never profitable, right? It's all about, can you take over the nation?
Yeah, he wants the fire income from the cap. I think it was the only way this becomes worth it.
Dracolich.
Yeah,
what does this guy have on him?
Stealthy Dracolich.
Oh, that is true. Stealthy.
Oh,
yeah, I don't understand the build, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah. Pythium again. Those guys would have been really useful in blocking the fort gate.
Yeah, I think the idea here is to just have the magma bolts kill the guardians some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The theory I had behind that Pythium rideout is I think that Ulm using their, what do you call it, Inquisitors, is trying to dom kill him. And I think the reason that he's running out is that he is running out of candles. I think he mentioned that to me.
Well, shit. Okay, so this is going to be I think this already, like, even if Naba kind of rolls Marignon from here on out, I feel like for what land you can barely hold in an expensive war, it already has not been a stomp, right? So gonna go ahead and say gonna be a bad war kind of no matter how it goes, but I'm still excited because I feel like at this point there's also like a bridge you can burn where, like, and it can easily happen in diagonal wars where, like, you just can't talk yourself out of it anymore. It's just pure hatred. And so I kind of have a feel, I don't know, Kirby's not really that kind of player, but I would not be surprised if these guys were just, like, hatefully fighting each other for the next 15 turns.
Yeah, I think that there's also an element that, like, in games where people are really focused on winning, sort of piecing out and getting out of a war that is proving to be well matched. Because I mean, I'm sure that what happened here is that Kirby miscalculated and thought that Marignon was a lot weaker. They'd had kind of bad expansion, But, I think, like, from a gameplay standpoint, this war is probably an interesting war in that they've had two, very close fights in a row. And, I don't know, like, trying to figure out whether you can win is pretty fun as a like Dominion gameplay challenge, even if it may not be that well directed towards winning the overall game, just because other people are going to be scaling a lot faster than you are if you're taking sort of really heavy losses like this.
But yeah, these guys are over here like, God, what's a good analogy? They're like, I don't know. They're like playing tiddlywinks or something, like at the beach, and meanwhile there's like rampant militarism, and I don't know. It would be like, maybe it's like French generals like playing a game of chess and talking about, like, who's the better master tactician, and, like, meanwhile Germany's like militarizing. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
About to get the Monaco pressure. But I do think this is the point where, or right around here, where we start considering maybe vulturing one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think
that's the other cost of this.
We should talk about that next turn, which I don't know if we'll fit into this episode. It's fun to do it.
I'll hit it. All right, magically we have the next turn. Oh man, putting down more dudes.
Yeah, so you should watch the fight in Durstel without clicking it, because I rides out here. Oh no.
Wait, and this is Barb.
I don't think anything happens this turn.
Yeah, it's not this turn. Okay. Yeah, so that battle with the Infade Forest then is the only fight this turn.
Oh, dude, there's literally nothing inside of Pythium. Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well watch that. People like seeing fort stormings, and I think it's actually interesting as I think one of the ways that you can deal with fort storming being hard is what Ulm is doing here, which is bringing a lot of evocation.
Yeah, for sure. Fire Elementals too are great.
Really.
The hold of it.
Yeah, the slingers route pretty fast with mages shooting at them.
Yeah, I did win a game with Ulm and Dominions 5, and know a thing or two about storming forts with them. But yeah, this is pretty good. A lot of crossbows, they help. Though, crossbows also inevitably with Ulm cause friendly fire, so.
Yeah. My perspective is that, if you need to storm a capital, you need to get out and, bring 15 mages out of the labs and send them to actually cast stuff, and that really changes what happens with the wall archers, because they tend to prioritize the wall archers because they're closer. Mm-hmm. Once you've routed those, then it's sort of the defender advantage is gone, and it's now sort of just whoever has more evocation and archery power is advantaged by the wall, and whoever has less is disadvantaged by the wall. That one is kind of a cool skirmish. Maybe it's not that cool.
So they're on Marignon's cap, which is annoying.
Yeah, I bet that those are those.
Oh, you're vulturing Marignon. You assholes.
No, we're not. That's a scout walking in.
Oh, those are scouts. Okay. Well, you're thinking about it.
If you look at our messages going out this turn, we have a message to Naba.
Wait.
And I think the second one is a more friendly one.
Okay, I feel that attacking you since we've been friendly, but at this point, I'm friendly with all my neighbors. I think it's the right strategic gamble given they are dogpiling Machaca right now, and I'm also tired of turtling. Yeah, okay, so you're just trying to be nice. Okay, so...
Yeah, so
okay.
I should probably
First
explain
of all, I just want to go
on.
on record as saying I believe that you are being a force in this game for karmic justice. And you had messaged me saying you were attacking Kirby or something in DMs or something. It just occurred to me now that that's this moment in the game when you were DMing me. But dude, fuck yes. Diagonal War people need to be taught lessons. And it's not like Kirby's going to forever be a Diagonal War person. He just, he put the hat on for this game. But yeah.
Yeah, so I should explain the diplomacy I referred to. So for some reason, and I don't really know why, but every player who borders Machaca mentioned to me at the same time this turn, keep it secret, don't tell anybody else, but I'm attacking the Machaca next. And I don't really know exactly how this happened, this sort of coincidence of affairs happened, but I think it's
I'm guessing it was TNG.
They're already fighting TNG. Nidavangar and Asphodel appear to also be going on Machaca. So, I don't think that Machaca isn't a fantastic position. Like they're winning this war with TNG, but it's not like a super scary blast. But for whatever reason, they seem to have, are about to get dogpiled.
Well, here's the problem with that is that Asphodel's going to get a lot of them.
Yeah, that is the problem with that.
That is the problem with that.
So my thinking on sort of going to war with Nabaa is that for it to make sense, it needs to be a fast war because Asphodel needs to still be busy, gathering their Machaca things when the war is decided. So I think I actually sent Cookies screenshots of my war plan for this, which included, through a combination of stealth attacks and so on, attacking approximately all but like 3 of the Nabaa provinces on the first turn of the war. The theory being that, they have a big economy, but they've lost a lot of their stuff, and so probably sort of just trying to hit everywhere with, decent strength stuff, but not things that are going to beat, 40 of those camel riders would be sort of the way to decide the war, just because, they're just going to be too spread thin.
I think the X factor in all of this is the Malakas. Like if they have really efficient thug kits, or if they're doing a lot of elemental spam, that could really frustrate a lot of your raiding.
And I should mention that if you go into the cave layer, like there's sort of 3 fronts. There's kind of the our south, our north, and the cave. And a big part of the plan would be to hit all of those caves because those are going to be a lot harder for them to retake. Though fire elementals and air elementals work great in caves. Yeah, their troops are at a big disadvantage versus Bakemono.
Right.
Well, other things we're doing, I think we got Conjuration 5 this turn, so we are summoning a few Mujina, which are the sort of glamour mages that you can get with nature gems.
Oh, cool.
We maybe already have some. Maybe I summoned them last turn. Oh, yeah.
We're also empowering our first Zots.
Oh, nice.
Are we?
Is that somewhere over here?
Yeah. Right above the capital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's our first Zots. And that'll be sort of our blood hunting operation. You can also see what else we did with Conjuration 5, which is that we've got 2 stacks of Draconians, which is part of, what we'd be using for the Nabaa War, but I don't know. Those are they're so cheap in Dominion 6. They got like triple buffed compared with Dominion 5, in that they got that second Talons attack. Cold-Blooded is no longer as punishing. And the spell, it used to be like 30 gems for 15 in the free spawner, and now it's 20 gems for 30 in the free spawner, so it's about 3 times as efficient, just in terms of how many you get per gem. So anyway, we're, until Illwinter nerfs them, we're going to make them. It's pretty exciting though. This is sort of the wages of our having gotten that Pingo King hero really early, because he's done all the site searching that got us that 5 air jumps a turn that we've been using to break in.
Okay, well, I'm excited. I fully approve smashing the Diagonal War Declarer. So I think you're in the moral right. You have a great causi belli, or however you say that, call to war, reason for war justification. Yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. Nabaa is a hard nation to fight. They've got a deep tool basket of kind of tricks. They're pretty mobile. They've got good magic move. I think you guys can win though, but I think it's going to be spicy, so it'll be fun.
And you kind of want to do it before they break into blood, because you can do all sorts of nasty stuff with Gula, too.
Yeah, and they're Magic 3 Naba, and I'm Magic 3 too, so all of their magic power stuff, and also we've got Heat 1, so anyway, all the magic power stuff, all the heat power stuff is going to be buffed in both of our territories. It's a bad matchup for us, and in general, I would be trying to avoid fighting them if they hadn't, as best we can tell from our scouts, lost possibly all of their units over the course of the last 3 turns.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you there.
I think that they've got a Demi-Lich, so that's turn 30. So the Demi-Lich will wake up in a little bit, and Demi-Liches in Dominion 6 are innate casters. So at some point, he's going to be able to do Magic 5, Wind of Death, or Bone Grinding, or whatever. And even, just having one of those guys land on you, do Skelly Scam can be pretty effective in the raiding war.
Yeah.
So
I want to hit for a minute on diplomacy before we close out this episode. Sure. With Machaka getting teamed up on by everybody, I think there's one course of action is, well, you need to keep size parity, so you found a weak target, you're going to go after them. That's the course you're pursuing. I think the other possible course is saying, well, they're getting teamed up on, that kind of sucks. One of the people teaming up on them is this big, very scary undead superpower. And other people teaming up with them isn't cool. You could try to maybe flip the alliance to turn them all against Asphodel. That's, I would say, the second option. The third option is you could see if Machaka is willing to form an axis, and you get you, Machaka. Maybe you can get these guys to make peace and join you against the part of the axis. So it's you, Marignon, Naba, Machaka versus those guys.
Yeah.
The possible good virtue of that plan would be that even if you don't win, your side doesn't win, you could peace out and cannibalize some of your partners who are failing. And then obviously if your side wins, you are going to get a lot of spoils out of it as a major partner in that.
Yeah, I think, I chatted with Pyrene a decent amount around this time, and he's a pretty well-known player. I think it's Coinage McAlpin, or I don't know exactly how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But I was chatting with him hey, do you think we should team up on Asphodel? And the problem is neither of us feel ready to fight them. We just feel like we're just gonna wait until his map move 3, 3 provinces per move Doomstack comes, and it'll just wipe whatever we've got. And he's just got so much free spawn that it's gonna be hard to make progress in the raiding war if you can't fight his army. And so I don't know. I think the current sort of thinking that everybody feels like they should just go get some spoils. And, I don't know. But I think if Asphodel were not at such a strong timing in their position, absolutely the type of thing that I'm looking to do is take a hard war against a big tower like Asphodel while they're busy with somebody else. So I think I definitely lose against Asphodel 1v1. So if I thought, they were going to fight Machaka will put up a stand, and, I can go fight the other side of them and maybe be able to at least, stalemate rather than just losing. It could be worth it, You got to stop the snowballing nation somehow,
Yeah, I mean, I do think. I think the third option is bad just because you're declaring war, or is worse because you're declaring war on the whole axis. And realistically, it's probably going to take a 3v1 to efficiently kill Asphodel. So that would be Machaka, you, Naba. Nidavangar is going to be attacking Machaka, so they're not going to help. But Pyrene. Yeah. So that could work. Pyrene, you, Machaka, Naba. Y'all could probably kill Asphodel.
Yeah, I think that's right. The other thing to look at...
By the way, just one last thing. I don't think that would be a clean win. I think Asphodel has a good chance of winning, or at least stalling or losing smallly against 2 of you and killing the other 2. So
somebody's going to have to fight that Doomstack, and it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Doomstack can be fought, but yeah.
I think that what I would predict is whoever fights that Doomstack first loses their army, and other parties gain ground, and then they swing it around to the next one and maybe kill that army. Over time, swinging between armies to kill with it they would lose ground wherever that army isn't, and probably still lose the war, just because it's
Yeah.
3v1 is a lot of resource advantage.
I mean, I think to be fair, if you guys wanted to gear up to fight Asphodel, I think what you do is you make like 800 Bakemono archers and give them flaming arrows and put like a big line of Dai Bakemono in front of them, and maybe like web or tangle vines or something the centaur when they come up to fight. But or you just have thugs that chew through them.
Yeah, see, that was my plan when I first saw that Asphodel was my neighbor. That was sort of the like direction I was imagining. And maybe it would be like you do 400 of the big Dai Bakemono archers and then like 600 of the little ones to get more missiles or whatever.
Yeah.
But this Asphodel has the Throne of Air, and they have 40% air shield built into their sacreds, and they've got the ability to buff the resistance to that. And so I'm not like, I feel like if you go all in on that, it might not work. It might be that 800 is enough, that even with air shield, even if they
it's 40% air shield. But the archers are mostly to clear the chaff out, because he's not going to have that many sacreds. Like, you might have to fight 100 sacreds or something, right? But 100 sacreds, even with like 200 Dai Bakemono, if they're supported by mages, like, you can kill them.
Yeah. And we can probably look at research briefly while we're here, because it's turn 30. I think one thing that's sort of interesting to note is we've gone from, I think we're at like 230 a turn 6 turns ago, and now it's 700. So it's sort of like, I think this is a thing that happens in a lot of Dominion 6 games because of how long it takes to build forts. You sort of have the point where you've only had your forts running for a few turns, and then there's the point 6 turns later where you've got just way more mages.
Yeah, it's like a really slow ramp. Yeah.
Things up.
Yeah, construction 5, get some gear. Enchantment 5. To do flaming arrows, it's now higher. It's 7. So
yeah, 5 has the air effect 20, which is good enough on a nation that's got Bakemono sorcerers.
Right.
But you're going to be spending a lot of gems on that, and you have to. The thing is, like, sure, you build that army, but then Asphodel does foul vapors and rigor mortis, and you potentially get your whole thing wiped. Like, it's
That's true.
So, it's. I think it's like very hard to come up with a clean script that's just going to work at this research level.
Yeah, if they've got foul vapors, you're kind of in trouble. So there's not two ways around that. Which they're probably getting close to if they don't have it yet. They did just go Alt 5, but where's foul vapors now?
It's enchantment
still 6,
along with relief and rigor mortis. So sort of all the things that Asphodel could dream of for.
Yeah. You have to plan on them having it for your war, I think, if they already hit Alt 5. In that case, yeah, you can't really fight them until you have enchantment 7. So,
yeah,
which is going to be
6.
Hail of Burning Embers and then Serpent's Blessing. So,
yeah, we have nature too. So poison ward spam is a thing that we can do. It'll be really expensive in nature gems, but the enchantment 4 one is fine for that.
Yeah, but you can't do that on 600 or 1,000 archers.
No, you do that on a smaller force.
Yeah.
So,
but
anyway,
you don't want to do that.
To be vexing. Very vexing. Like, what? How are we gonna fight that?
Yeah. So I think the big things are like, a lot of these things don't, like, Firestorm probably won't win you. I actually think going enchantment's probably better for fighting them, because like Firestorm is going to be harder to do because you're also going to need fire resistance on your own stuff, and like a lot of fire resistance, like probably Army of Gold or something.
Spelling spam is
you don't
really
need that
good because the long dead are inanimate, so they're immune to the sleep vine effect. So they trade extremely well with the mannequins.
Yeah. And also that doesn't combo well with Firestorm. So I feel enchantment is a bit safer because you get Serpent's Blessing, which means you can mass your dudes. And then you get Hail of Serpent Fang Arrows, which is going to help clear out their chaff. You get Relief to help too against Rigor. Anti-magic for Rigor.
Yeah. Well, let me make the case for evocation, because it's not just Firestorm that we would be looking for. But one of the really cool spells that you don't see often is Stygian Rain, which is in evocation 7. And
that hurts you because it affects everybody.
Well, no, it doesn't. It affects everything that is not inanimate. So all of the Asphodel undead do not benefit from the protection buff that it does. So it's 15 invulnerability, which is sort of as good as Marble Warriors or better depending what your natural protection is.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And it only affects effectively our stuff and the Black Centaur. And for the Black Centaur, because
they've got a fair amount of natural protection anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, they've exactly, and they've got about 15 just from like the natural protection plus the huge berserk, and probably they'll do bark skin or something.
Yeah.
But sieging range is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the other things that are here, there's earthquake as a way to clear chaff.
Yeah.
And rain of stones is also interesting.
You can't use goblins with this though, and you guys don't have shields. They do have hats though.
Yeah, you can use the big goblins. Little goblins now. But I think we've rolled at this point one Rain of Stones caster from those archmages of the sky. So
the problem is you still get gassed.
Yeah, you do.
But I guess I guess if you go this route, if you go the evocation route, then you're thinking like small squads of Daibakemono surrounding casters that are trying to hold up some battlefield wide.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's what exactly. I was testing too.
Yeah, okay.
And the big swinging factor in those tests was the 50 or so Black Centaur and what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. I don't like that as much. I just feel like it could work really well, but it can also just completely fail catastrophically. Whereas the enchantment play, I feel like it's a little more kind of like, okay, here's what I'm doing. It can work in a lot of different situations. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I should mention that there's also an alteration play, just because we have air mages, of trying to do like a fog warrior sort of thing to counter the centaurs.
Because they don't have magic weapons, so.
Yeah. Anyway.
You start seeing the end game becomes less scary, right? Because by the time you've got, fog warriors and like chaff clear to kill his chaff with firestorm and flaming arrows and serpent's blessing and relief and stuff, these become very manageable fights. But that's a long way away.
It also depends how Asphodel is doing on their magic diversity. Like, one of the big strengths for Shinuyama is that we have a lot of magic diversity access. You can get high casters and a bunch of paths and sort of do these kind of combined things. Asphodel gets really good nature and death, but the rest of it they kind of have to work for. And so depending on how they've been doing with their site searching, which we know they've gotten air, but that's sort of it.
Yeah.
100 carrion fairies can be really quite nasty.
Yeah, they can.
If they have enough time to build those up. And there's some level 9 spells that are just crazy in insects. So have to worry about that too once you're thinking about we're going to be at our 7s and 8s.
All right, well, let's end this episode here. I just want to, again, as a closing thought from me, commend you guys. I think while it was good to tech up and spend some turns doing infrastructure, I think and you could have stayed doing that longer, but I think if other people are being aggressive, y'all have got to be aggressive too. I like the choice in targets, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Any closing words from you guys?
I think that's all. I think it's I think maybe viewers are probably getting a sense as to why I thought this would be a cool game to share. Is like it's not often that you have an opponent that is that scary this early.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I like Shinuyama as a nation to play is the fact that you can make 60 scouts and sort of have this Eyes of Goblin thing where you just get to watch what's happening. I think most players would just have a fog of war as to like what is happening with Asphodel. You just hear in game chat that another nation fell or whatever it is.
No, you can see the threat laid out before you hear.
I think for folks who are sort of a newer player, like making a lot of scouts is a great thing to do, not just because it helps you win the game, but you learn so much from just seeing what other people are doing. And I don't know, that's actually why I picked Shinuyama for my noob game and for my first Dominion 6 game is the as a sort of tiebreak, the fact that you can scout everything. You get to learn more about what it's like.
Yeah. Dark Side Cookies, closing thoughts?
Yeah, for this particular matchup, the interesting twist that I really like on it is both nations have broken into air. So Asphodel's got the Windmasters, which not only can magic phase, but they also fly. And then we've got the the big air mages
Right, those
from
big
the
air
side
mages.
north of our cap, and we've got big astral and air from the throne.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty spicy. All right, well, looking forward to the next episode where we get to see what happens with you guys in Nabal, and then how Machaka holds up and all these other things. So, yeah, see you guys then.
Later.